In this part of the video, we'll be talking about coasts.
A coast is a region where interactions happen between the sea and land.
We'll be starting off with the 4 processes of coastal erosion.
Attrition happens when particles carried by the waves crash against each other and are broken up into smaller pieces. Corrosion or abrasion happens when particles carried by the waves crash against the cliffs, eventually eroding the cliffs. Solution is when the seawater slowly dissolves the cliffs and the materials produced is carried away by the process. Hydraulic action is when waves have great energy which is released as they break against the cliffs. This air is compressed by the waves, eventually causing them to crack. The coastline is impacted by 2 different types of waves, constructive and destructive. In this drawing, we have showed you the directions of swash and backwash. Destructive waves are high-energy waves that erode the coast, commonly found in steep sloping coasts where they break with a great force over a short distance. The backwash of a destructive wave is more powerful than the swash. More materials are moved than deposited, and these waves can erode the coast over time. Constructive waves are low-energy waves that deposit things onto the coast. As the waves approach the coast, the friction between the waves and the seabed causes the wave to slow down at some distance from the coast. Their swash is powerful than backwash. The more materials are carried up to the coastline than removed. Over time, the coast builds up. Now moving on, we will be explaining about the features of coastal erosion. In this image, it shows all the features of coastal erosion. Weak areas are attacked by waves and are open to form a cave due to erosion from hydraulic action. The cave is then widened and deepened by erosion to form an arch. The roof of an arch will eventually fall down, leaving it as an isolated stack. The stack is continually eroded until it becomes a small stump.
now, we will be talking about coastal deposition. Coastal deposition is the laying down of material on the coast by the sea. Sandspit, a long narrow stretch of sand or shingle with one end attached to the mainland. Sandbar, this feature develops when a spit stretches across a bay linking two headlands. Tombolo, this feature forms when a beach or sandspit joins up with an offshore island. Barrier islands, sandy islands that run parallel to the coastline, forming a tidal lagoon between them and the shore. Sand dunes, formed by winds blowing dry sand from the beach inland and depositing it there to form mounds of sand. Salt marsh, a sheltered area flooded at high tide where silt collects behind a sandspit or sandbar. And now we will be talking about coral reefs. Coral reefs are landforms beneath the sea formed by the growth and deposit of coral. They are also known as the rainforests of the sea. Have a solid skeleton of limestone and form reefs at a rate of 2.5 centimeters a year. Corals need three main factors for growth: warm water between 23 to 25 degrees, clear shallow water no deeper than 50 meters, and sunlight for photosynthesis. Three different types of coral reefs. Coral platforms grow out to sea attached to the mainland. A shallow lagoon lies above them. Coral grows in a shallower area away from the mainland. The water between is too deep for coral to grow and forms a lagoon. These reefs form offshore barriers along coastlines. These develop around islands. Fringing reefs grow in a circle attached to the land. Sea level rise or subsidence of the land causes coral to grow at the height of the rising sea level to reach the light. This eventually forms a ring of coral reefs with a lagoon replacing the island in the center. Coral reefs have been here for millions of years, and they are now an ecosystem under threat. Here are the main threats for coral reefs. 1. Destructive fishing practice. This includes cyanide fishing, blast dynamite fishing, bottom trawling, and muro ami, which is banging on the reef with sticks. 2. Overfishing. This affects the ecological balance of coral reef communities. 3. Careless tourism. Urban and industrial waste is dumped into the ocean, which then poisons the corals. 5. Coral mining. Corals are removed from reefs and are either sold or used as building materials. 6. Sedimentation. Erosion caused by construction both inland and along coasts, mining, logging, and farming is leading to increased sediments in rivers, which ends up in the ocean, where it can smother corals by depriving them of the light needed to survive. The destruction of mangrove forests, which normally trap large amounts of sediment, is aggravating the problem. And last but not least, 7. Climate change. Water temperature increases and corals are unable to adapt. Global warming leads to coral bleaching.